July 28th, 2026. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. I'm going to stop trading now. There was one trade I took and it was profitable. There was no economic data to really move the markets. There was some areas right here and kind of right here that prices were very choppy and it was kind of hard to figure out and try to fit lines. So I did the best I could. In some areas that I couldn't quite figure out, I just kind of left it alone. Figured that there was probably better setups or better opportunities. And if not, then I wasn't going to try to battle anything in here. I did take a trade here and it was part of a expectation of a measured move, and I'll get to it when I get to it. So pre-market, it was these choppy legs down. Looks like it's maybe one big leg on the higher time frame, then maybe two legs, sideways consolidation, another big leg here. So maybe it's like one leg sideways, another big leg, break, test the high, and it starts pushing down. And on the open, it's moving down this orange down channel, breaks, test the low, moves sideways, no real setups here. Technically, you have a new low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. I saw a lower high here, and it was tempting, but it shot all the way down to here. So then it wasn't as tempting anymore because unless I took it on the engulfing, like right here, which I was not ready to do, I'd have to take it after the bar closed or after it closed right at the low. But then you'd be buying, excuse me, I'd be selling right at this area that I'm worried about. I'm thinking there might be some kind of support bounce area because I was initially working with this as my range and I treated this as a failed breakout, expecting prices to move back to the bottom, which it did. But by the time this thing set up, there's no way I'm going to try to take a short here because it's just too much risk. In this case, it would have worked because I would have gotten entered here, and then by just chance it would have worked. But that's not a good setup, in my opinion. Prices started moving down. I found that maybe it was moving in this channel. It looks like it's one big leg sideways push up and another big leg, but also maybe in moving in this channel, but it didn't really help out for any setups that I could find. I didn't draw it at the time, but this is what I was thinking, something like this. So it does make it back to the bottom. For the most part, it did break through, and you could say it made the measured move and it bounced and reversed back up. Pushes up on this green up channel, and then makes one attempt and then flushes down. Now I marked this because I saw this as like a potential first entry short pullback, maybe a second move down because this leg had already moved pretty much 50% of this leg. So I'm not so sure when I see this in real time that prices are necessarily going to rocket back up since it already moved so much. I'm thinking there actually might be two legs and a continuation of this gray down channel. But this signal bar here for second entry short is bullish. It's green, but it's a bearish green. So I was actually looking for lower high here. Your lower high shows up here. Unfortunately, it doesn't close at the low because on a setup like this, which is I'm a little more unsure of, I want to see no bulls or buyers buying it back up and pushing it back up because when I see this in real time, now it leaves a little bit of question whether it's going to move back up or move back down. So it's a little ambiguous. So the lower high does show up here. It's confirmed here. By the time this happens, I'm not ready to take this. And I thought there could have been a mini range that prices were operating in. I didn't draw it at the time, but I can kind of see it that could be a potential range, potential support area. So I'm not going to take a trade after this. Squeeze this down. So it does move up and then pushes down. I'm thinking the break of this has made, looks like maybe two attempts down and it starts reversing up. This blue range doesn't exist yet. Pushes up. I'm thinking one leg up, pull back. This could be the second leg. And then when it hits here and it pushes back down, it looks like it might be in a actual trading range. That's where I colored in my blue. This is the range that I drew initially because I thought there might be some kind of resistance here, confirmed here by second touch, and then kind of confirmed here by two touches here. So they're not good enough to color in yet. Looks like it moves down. First entry long pullback, second entry long failure. So this is one leg, two legs up, and this sets up for my first trade. Well, actually my only trade. So it looks like it's one leg down, two legs up, and I'm thinking, could there be a second leg down to maybe test the low of this range that I've colored in blue? And so what happened was when this pushed down really strongly, and then prices looked like they were a little indecisive, it flushes up, and when it was coming back down, it looked like it was strong enough that I actually dropped my order in. I moved it from the high side and chased it down instead of moving it here and entering on like a stop order. I moved it up here from a sell limit order, dragged it down, and it actually flushed up, got my order. I got a little bit better fill, and then it flushed down and gave me my 6 ticks, which is perfect because I was concerned that there was going to be some kind of resistance here. So if I did take it here at the close of this guy, then I might have been in this trade until this candle got me out. But if I entered after this candle, well, if I put my order down here, right at the low of this candle, I may have gotten entered here or I may have gotten entered here. The safe thing would have been one tick below this guy. So then this guy, when he never ticks through, and I see it in real time, then I probably would have canceled the order. This one for sure I would have canceled the order because it shows indecision. Again, indecision. And then the tricky part here is if you thought the bears were going to win over and you put in one tick, this guy would have entered the trade for you. Depending on where you kept your stop, if you kept it above here, this might have stopped you out. If you kept your stop way up here, that's a huge risk. You'd have to wait all the way to over here and it would have stopped you out. But watching this chop through, if you shorted here, I think I might have just tried to exit with a little bit of break even or something on something like that. So this was a very fortunate entry that let me get the 6 ticks. Now it was aggressive because I didn't wait for this to close. I entered it on the engulfing, and also by coincidence, and it doesn't happen very often for a lot of people, is I got a better entry than I was expecting. So then prices continue moving sideways. It breaks out, hits the high side. I'm thinking this is the range that we're in. And I actually had it a little higher at one time. I was thinking maybe this is the range, potential fail breakout. But now it looks like this is a cleaner fitting range. Pushes up, no clean second entries. EMA is starting to act bullish. It's like a first entry long. This resets the count, pushes the high side again. It's just kind of sideways consolidation, pushes down and finally breaks through the EMA. Looks like it's 2 legs down and it reverses back up. It sets up what I thought was a possible trade. So clearly the EMA is showing strength. It's this dotted line here. Made 2 legs down. Looks like it's 1 leg up, pull back, second leg up, pull back. This is looking like a decent higher low. So it is technically first entry long, second entry long. Technically, there's a third entry long, but this is an inside bar followed by this. So I saw it as a first entry, second entry. These two get swept up in this big 1 leg up. It was coming back down. I was thinking this could be 2 legs up now. I wasn't really worried or thinking that prices are going to come into this range anymore because I don't think this range is valid at this point. Like it was important here, but it's no longer important. And I thought there's a higher low here. I didn't really like it. I mean, it looks like a potential possible trade, but I really wanted kind of like a cleaner push and ideally engulfing this guy. And then when this flushed up, I was feeling a little bit of FOMO that there's a possible trade here that I was a little bit too picky on. And the reason I was too picky was I wanted it to engulf this guy with a nice close at the high. Then I would have for sure jumped in on that. So wasn't aggressive here, was kind of aggressive and lucky here. Prices move up, starts moving up, starts drifting away from the EMA, no clean second entries, pushes down, first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but seeing this in real time, I'm not thinking second entry long. Then I have a confirmed second entry long, first entry long, second entry long, but the follow through bar is terrible, so I'm looking for a higher low. You don't really get a higher low till about here, but now it's too close to the localized high of day, or the high of day of today. Pushes the high side, hits the localized high, actually the high of day here. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long. Call this an almost trade because this is a pretty nice setup. The thing that was going against it was you're really close to this potential resistance area of this range that I thought was developing. so I had to skip it. Then if you did enter, I looked, there isn't 6 ticks here. So I think there's only 5. So I'd be in this trade and then I would have been stopped out by this guy. But I'm glad I'm not in this trade for the reason being that I thought it was too close to this potential resistance area. So this follow through choppiness kind of confirmed and reassured me like, okay, that was good that I stayed out. Pushes down, hits this potential support area, makes one leg up, pull back, second leg. So it looks like it's 2 measured legs, potential fail breakout here. And then starts pushing back down. Looks like it's moving down this orange leg, push, test the low. Now, whether the range is actually here or slightly higher, it, it doesn't really matter yet because I wouldn't be looking to sell because I'd be selling at the low or near the lows, but I wasn't ready to buy yet either. I was pushing up, so it looked like it was a first entry long pullback, second entry long. I was kind of looking for a visual higher low, but it never shows up. And I start the video about here, so I'm not really sure what's been happening since then, except looks like there's another potential fail breakout. EMA is starting to act bearish. Overall, what the chart looks like it was push up, push down, sideways, push up, 2 legs, sideways. I'm not sure if this bigger time frame, if this is going to make another big leg up. But right now, the way I see it, and I'm not really going to stick around to look at it, it looks like it's in a range. So I'm thinking if it breaks through, it's like a first entry short. If it creates a second entry short with a slightly higher break, I'm thinking prices might actually continue downwards if the EMA, because I'm thinking might be a successful push through if the EMA actually holds. I wouldn't really looking to go long unless there's a decisive break above the EMA and clearly pushing through safely into this range here. So as of now, I wouldn't be really looking for a long or short. I'd just be waiting to see what's going to happen. Okay, 1 leg down, 2 legs up, maybe a second leg down here. Let me delete this guy. Maybe a second leg here. It's already pretty close to potentially making a measured move. But as I said, I'm not really going to stick around to see what's going to happen. Tomorrow's FOMC rate decision day, which could be kind of volatile. I think there's a slight bias thinking that they're going to raise by 1/4%, which could, I don't know, cause a market sell-off or actually could do anything because it's never really been correlated successfully that if they raise rates, is that bearish or bullish consistently, or if they cut rates, is it going to cause a sell-off or buy up? So if anything, just got to be extra careful tomorrow, especially right up to the rate decision time of 11 o'clock Pacific Standard. And then the new FOMC rate or FOMC chair guy comes out and gives color commentary around 11:30 Pacific Standard. That usually causes some other choppiness. So hopefully that was helpful.